Hey guys, this is the LarryBoy Fanatic, and today we're going to be reviewing LarryBoy and the Rumorweed.
Sequel to LarryBoy and the Fair from Outer Space, this movie got its first release in 1999. In fact, this movie had its premiere at the Rock Hard Live at Universal Studios.
Now, mind you, this came out in 1999, and I was probably like 6 years old when it came out. But I didn't really discover LarryBoy until I was like 10 or 11.
Anyway, this movie was really good for the LarryBoy franchise, even though it wouldn't be until 2006 when LarryBoy and the Bad Apple wore the crown as the best LarryBoy video ever.
Now, come to think of it, I really do feel bad about missing out in 1999. So until we get to review LarryBoy and the Bad Apple, here is LarryBoy and the Rumorweed.
The movie starts with,
no countertop scene? Well, alright. Okay, moving on.
Okay, the story begins as two kids leave a movie theater.
Whoa. Hang on. Am I getting this right? Two people walking out of a movie theater at the beginning of this movie. Oh my gosh. I really hope I'm not repeating my review on LarryBoy and the Fair from Outer Space. Let me check real quick. Okay. This is really how this movie starts, with just two people walking out of a movie theater. Anyway,
The kids come across a strange guy who tells them to hand over their milk money of $1.28. Really?
why this guy wants $1.28 from these kids is a total mystery.
But that's okay, because this thug runs into LarryBoy on the rooftop. Now, look at how this scene goes. We see LarryBoy emerge from the darkness. That alone makes him pretty badass. I'm telling you, when I first saw this when I was 11, this gave me goosebumps. And that's how good this scene is. So it doesn't take long for LarryBoy to bring this bandit to justice as he sends this bad guy into a waiting cop car. Well, that was convenient. LarryBoy then talks to Alfred, but not without knocking a flower pot off the roof.
First of all, where was that flower pot? And second, is this scene banking on convenience or what?
So the plant gets electrocuted on a power line as some lady talks on the phone, and the plant falls into the sewer to reveal that electricity can really bring inanimate objects to life.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Now, skipping the opening song, the next scene starts with a cut to black while Alfred speaks.
No, nothing's wrong with your screen. This is what you're actually seeing in this movie.
But why? Why not show something here? Anyway, after staying that way for a few seconds, we see that Alfred is talking to some kids in a classroom.
And boy, do those kids look really interested in listening to about how a guy in a tuxedo saved a dinner party. Ooh. Man, it feels like I could be talking to a bunch of plushies and toys while I'm saying something to them. I would like to apologize to everyone about making that crotch joke in my review of LarryBoy and the Rumorweed. You see?
Now, before Alfred gets going, he says that he can't stay in class for too long because he needs to, quote, go home and recharge his batteries, end quote.
As if those kids know figure of speech. I mean, guess which two kids we're focusing on in this movie?
You wish. Actually, Junior and Laura go home talking about Alfred's weird comment about recharging his batteries.
It's starting to sound a little suggestive, but anyway.
The kids misinterpret the phrase that Alfred may be a robot.
Yeah, figure that out.
And this catches the attention of, gasp, a talking weed who looks like she came from a salon. So she convinces the kids to tell her what they're talking about. Unless she got them to do so with her lip job. Don't I look lovely, kids? So now that word about Alfred is leaked, the weed goes on to tell other people about Alfred. Okay, 1, apparently everyone knows who Alfred is. I guess Bumleyburg is a small town, or Alfred is a highly profiled celebrity. I don't know. And 2, people add to this rumor by saying that robots are dangerous and have the potential to take over the world. Add all that up, and you get Alfred being wrongfully accused of not being a human, or vegetable, if you will.
And keep in mind that we're dealing with the same kid from Larry Boy and the Fib from Outer Space. Only this time, he's bringing his friend Laura into this troublemaking circle of doom. I mean, I don't want to put a value judgment on these kids as people, but they really need to see some counseling.
Also, notice how nobody tells this weed to leave their yard.
Well, that's easy enough. Just pretend that she's a Jehovah's Witness and then go from there.
But it's not until the rumor weed gets to Alfred's yard when Larry tells her to leave without letting her spread her rumor to him.
You see, he gets it. He totally gets it. He knows that you shouldn't let strange weeds into your yard.
Then Larry gets a call from the mayor saying that they need Larry Boy's help to get rid of the weeds that are in people's yards that are spreading such blasphemy about Alfred. This leads to a musical number in somebody's yard.
Which looks like it has more LSD color schemes than that song Don't Make Me Laugh from The Pebble and the Penguin. And this one had Tim Curry in it.
But instead of Tim Curry singing this song, we get to Rumorweed rapping the lyrics. While the neighbors, they rap as well. But who cares? This is way better than Bible Man's take on rumors.
What, you never heard of Bible Man?
Well, something you should know is that the first 2 Larry Boy videos from VeggieTales were somewhat similar to 2 episodes from Bible Man, which were The 6 Lies of the Fibbler and Silencing the Gossip Queen, both of which were released to video in 1996. That was a year before Larry Boy and the Fib from Outer Space, and about 3 years before Rumorweed. But when it comes to quality and effort and story, VeggieTales did a better job than Bible Man. While that's going on, Larry Boy shows up to try and kill the weed with a weed whacker and hedge clippers, but none of those tools work, especially since they show only grass shavings and dented blades to emphasize that she's virtually indestructible. I mean, wow, the Rumorweed even grabs a hold of Larry Boy's ear before letting him fall backward off screen. I mean, geez, what a prick.
Now for this next scene, I know I made a video on this. It was that scene analysis video of the Larry Cave scene, but I'm going to bring it up again.
It cuts to Larry Boy and Alfred having a discussion about the Rumorweed. Now, mind you, they don't know that the weed is powered by the rumor itself, so it's natural that they speculate. Note that in the previous scene, Larry Boy stuck his ear to the weed so that Alfred could collect data onto the computer, of which they probably upgraded after that dial-up frenzy during the Fib incident. Anyway, during the Larry Cave scene, Larry Boy bumps into a joystick only to reveal to him and Alfred that there's more to the rumor weed than just those, like, polka dots on the screen.
Now get ready for some suspense, because that's what the last few seconds of this scene is gonna be about.
Now that the guys know that there's a big mother weed that's underground, this shocker is emphasized with close-ups of these two characters. Yep, soak it up, cause this is what the makers of this movie find funny. I mean, imagine if all Revelation discoveries were down like that.
Fanatic, I just learned something about Season 3 of VeggieTales in the House. What, Critic? What is it? LarryBoy is starting another League of Incredible Vegetables. Oh god, no!
Anyway, after that, awkward bit of suspense, Larry Boy gets going while Alfred gives him some motivational talk, only for him to have some doubt as soon as our hero leaves.
Well, might as well plan Larry Boy's funeral while you're at it.
So they reenact the Larry plane scene from Larry Boy and the Fit from Outer Space, only this time they don't take too long and the buttons have symbols on them this time.
Okay, so far so good. I mean, it's not like Alfred is gonna, have Larry Boy do anything crazy, like disable plane mode while he's still up in the sky. Dude, I knew it. I knew that Alfred was crazy.
The recharging your batteries comment, the over-the-top suspense-inducing behavior, his short-lived sense of motivation for our hero.
Okay, Bumleyberg, I'm telling you, Alfred is not a robot. He's just a guy that's clearly off his meds.
And look, he's even smiling while this is going on, while Larry Boy is falling several feet in the air and preparing to go underground at many miles an hour. This scene really gets you pumped up because this is insane. And plus, did Larry Boy sign a waiver before doing all this? Now, if the people on this production thought that they should totally outdo themselves with the animation, the music, and the direction of the story, this is where it happened. This was where Phil Vischer was like,
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. That'll get Larry Boy to the rumor weed a lot more faster. And we can make this insane on Alfred's part. Alright, but Critic, shouldn't Larry Boy question this if they're really gonna go that route in the movie? Dude, why you gotta nitpick? And besides, it's for the kids. Okay, but no offense, Mr. Phil Vischer, I really love your work. I'm a big fan of your work, actually.
Anyway, Larry Boy is underground, and Alfred asks this really weird question. Isn't it lovely?
No. What he's really trying to ask here is, am I a psycho, Master Larry?
Look, I'm sorry. What in the heck was lovely about being in a plane, diving towards Earth a bajillion miles an hour, and burrowing down into the ground afterwards?
Now remind me again why we let you plan this whole mission, Alfred.
And to make matters worse, as soon as Larry Boy hits the sewers, literally and metaphorically, he loses contact with Alfred. Well, whose bright idea was that? Now, the only way for Alfred to redeem himself is by going to save Larry Boy. How? Well, here's an idea. He drives the slowest scooter ever. But that's okay because Larry Boy right now has bigger problems to deal with in the form of a huge motherweed.
My God, were we in for something huge? Now look, before we had to deal with the bad apple's seductive nature and Larry Boy and the bad apple, this is what we had to deal with back then. The motherweed. I mean, understand that. This was way before Larry Boy and the bad apple.
Larry Boy tries to take her out with a pretty cool gun, but presses the wrong button and it breaks. Dude, that's like firing a gun and then realizing that you didn't put any bullets in it to begin with. And that's the look of a guy saying, man, I'm totally screwed. Meanwhile, Alfred gets no luck from anyone in town, for everyone now thinks that he's a dangerous robot out to kill people. Dude, notice how nobody calls the army to subdue this guy if they truly believed that he was a robot. And what's Alfred's response to all this? He says, I'm not a robot, I'm British. Dude, how is this relevant to the fact that these people are accusing you of being a robot? I mean, that's adding more fuel to the fire. Anyway, let's check back with Larry Boy, who's already getting his butt kicked. But all that is off screen, and when we do see him, he's already bruised and beaten up.
It's for the kids. I know that! Jeez!
But that's okay, because the motherweed shows her evilness by informing us of her growth and...
What was that? Did she swallow a cat or something? Can we listen to that again? I'm sorry. I know I should be taking this scene seriously because Larry Boy is beaten up and all that. But you can't really take this scene seriously because of that laugh. I mean, before, like, ooh.
She was scary moments ago.
But then we hear this laugh, and it's like all the creepiness of this rumorweed instantly out the window. I mean, that bit in that scene is always going to result in laughter.
Now, all kidding aside, the motherweed does in fact make herself known to Bumbleberg as she shoots up from the ground and grabs Alfred. Just then, Dad Asparagus shows up and meets up with Junior and Laura, and he asks, Junior, Laura, what's going on? What's that thing that has Alfred?
Well, Dad, this is just a remake of Larry Boy and the Fit from Outer Space.
But with a huge anthropomorphic weed, and Alfred is the victim this time, and it's daytime. So then the dad confronts the weed on who made up the rumor about Alfred, and she instantly rats out our two kid characters.
Well, at least the rumor weed did something right. For once.
So the kids state their case that they didn't know what Alfred meant when he said that he had to recharge his batteries, and they automatically assumed that he was a robot. But then the dad says that the statement was only a figure of speech, and that what Alfred really meant was that he was tired and needed to rest.
Question. How do you explain figure of speech to a grade schooler? It's a kid's movie.
The dad gives a quick speech after that, and basically, in order to fix this type of situation, the moral of this is that God doesn't want us to say hurtful things about people, but instead say nice things. But nothing here about figure of speech. I mean, no lesson there? Anyway, when Dad says, Mr. Alfred is a very nice man, a couple of flowers bloom on the motherweed stem, This prompts the kids to go out into the crowd and convince people to say nice things about Alfred. So everyone starts saying good things about him, and eventually the motherweed turns into a flower.
I guess that's cool.
So Alfred is free, and the people apologize to him for persecuting him and for not questioning the rumor. Yeah. Though the weird thing about this is that Alfred gets away scot-free with having LarryBoy do dangerous things like fly a plane into the ground and forcing him to fight a monster that was potentially going to do him an injury. But who cares? Everyone loves Alfred now.
Well, like I said before, that's cool, but what about LarryBoy? Is he okay?
Of course he is, because he emerges from out of the sewer, still bruised and beaten, and it seems like everyone is happy to see him.
Guys, could you do me a favor and give LarryBoy some medical attention, like ASAP? I mean, he could be suffering from a concussion right now, like seeing the way he is.
Well, that's the end of the movie, but not without LarryBoy and Alfred explaining the moral of the story, along with its Bible verse, Proverbs 12:18, which is a fitting verse. Now, this replacement of a countertop scene is very unique because of how this is played, and quite frankly, this could be something for another video.
Anyway, that was LarryBoy and the Rumorweed. Now, seeing that this is the sequel to LarryBoy and the Fit from Outer Space, how was this?
LarryBoy and the Rumorweed was highly promoted in the late 90s for a number of reasons. One, Big Idea was growing as an industry at the time. Two, the Fit from Outer Space episode was a really big hit in the VeggieTales video line. And three, this movie got a premiere at the Rock Hard Live at Universal Studios. Everything about this movie screams improvement from the first one. I mean, the animation, the music, the story, well, they may have recycled some scenes, but you can't really nitpick on stuff like that. Overall, this movie was great, and I fell in love with this movie growing up. Though it wouldn't be until the release of LarryBoy and the Bad Apple that would take the place of this one.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this review, and if you liked it, be sure to click that like button and subscribe. Oh no. Now we gotta do the Cartoon Adventure series. Oh well, that's for another video. See you guys!